I have a bad back and I need to lose 100 pounds. Any advice on what exercises to start with to kickstart things?
You know, you have a bad back and you need to take care of that, and I have no idea what that means. That could mean so many different things. What you need to do is you need to probably, start to figure out what you can do. You probably want to go see your doctor and say, hey, what can I do and what can I not do? Yeah. And then doctors sometimes are overly cautious. Yeah. So maybe get a second opinion, see what you can get away with. But the bottom line is, if you got 100 pounds to lose, here's what you need to do. Start moving some way, somehow, whether that starts off as walking, whether that starts off as doing some calisthenics, whether it starts off as riding an exercise bike. You need to start moving. That's what you need to do. Yeah. And then you need to fix the diet, because that's where most of that weight loss is going to come from. And that's the best ways to kickstart things.
I agree, yes. And you know how... Okay, the diet thing, real quick. You know how like certain things you go into certain situations and you're hit with feelings or certain things that you weren't expecting. You're like, dang, feelings. I didn't expect.
I reject feelings.
Yeah. But, then you'll fall into certain pitfalls because you're like, dang, I didn't really expect it to be like this, And maybe if you went in there expecting certain things or understanding that certain things are going to come about, you'd have more will. So the diet thing, when you change your diet, if your diet, let's say your typical diet is poor, typically that's going to mean it tastes good in some way.
Check.
Whether it be, fast food or just whatever. It tastes good. Yeah. A lot of sugar. Yeah, exactly right. So it tastes good. And foods that taste good have a certain chemical reaction in your brain, and they go hand in hand. Pleasure. We'll call it pleasure. So when you refine your diet, typically that means it's going to be less sugar, sometimes less fat. It depends on what kind of diet you go on. But if it's a better diet compared to your junk food diet based on taste and pleasure, less tasty, exactly right. So it's one thing to be like, okay, it doesn't taste as good and I can handle that, that's cool, but the chemical reaction in your brain is basically going to be telling you, like, you need pleasure. You are being deprived of pleasure, and you're going to be like...
No, they're telling you, your brain is telling you it's not just pleasure, it's sustenance, it's survival. Yeah, exactly. You need, not just you want, you need that donut.
Yeah, that was the standard. That was the standard.
So you got to get rid of that.
And people call it cravings. That's your craving, but it's one thing to be like, okay, craving, I can overcome that for a lot of people, but... It's a weird feeling. It goes beyond just
you want to know a good way to kick things off? Go on a fast, man. Go on a 24-hour fast, because I'll tell you what, the best thing about going on a fast, in my opinion, is how it recalibrates it recalibrates two things: your actual feeling of hunger, and it recalibrates your taste buds too. Yeah. Because when you're eating this beautiful stuff all the time, you're like, that tastes so good, and you just need more of it. Yeah. Whereas once you go on a fast, when you have a glass of water, it tastes good. You're like, oh, this tastes so good. And then when you break the fast and you have whatever you're going to have, whatever your first meal is, it tastes really good. And it's very satisfying because you haven't eaten anything.
Right. Yeah, your needs have been...
Yeah, your needs. So that's one of the best things I found about fasting is it recalibrates those two things. Hunger and taste, and things start to taste better. It's like, have you ever, you drink Coca-Cola, right? So you're used to that sweet thing.
Every once in a while.
For me, because I don't drink it, if I taste it, it tastes over the top, too much, sweet, over the top. Mm-hmm. And that's because I've fasted from having Coca-Colas for so long that it just is a taste that I don't even like anymore. Yeah. But there's a middle ground where, hey, you can have it and you go, wow, this tastes incredibly good, but I don't need a ton of it because I got the satisfaction of the taste. Right. So, yeah, that's another good way to kick things off is go on a fast, go on a 24-hour fast. You don't need food. Like I told when my daughter was going through her last wrestling season, she was telling me, she says, Dad, I was thinking, because she's fasting, or not fasting, she's cutting weight. Never mind fasting, she's cutting weight. Yeah, water. And her thing was like, if a person can live for 30 days without food, I can make it till post weigh-ins. Yeah. Yeah. You're not starving.
No, you're not. You're cutting weight.
As Big Tony, BTF Tony used to say, like, you're not going to die. Oh, you're gonna die? Oh no. So dumb. I talked to Tony the other day on the phone. He was all fired up. We were laughing really hard. I was telling a story, and he was laughing so hysterically that it was hard to understand him. So yeah, Big Tony. Yeah, that was his thing. Well, you're not gonna just die if you don't have anything right now. Yeah, just stop.
See, man, that says so much about what.
When you feel like eating, just picture Tony.
Yeah,
just picture BTF Tony sitting there going, "You're not gonna die if you don't have that." It's so dumb. Yeah, just be tougher. Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Man, that's such a good I mean, it's real funny when he says it, you know? It makes you feel like a real puss, but he's kind of right, you know? It's like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just having this craving, you know? It's like, wow, what are you
How embarrassing is that? Imagine this. Imagine if you had to announce your stupid, pathetic craving and needs, wants to the world.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if I had to walk into a room, into a group of people and say, I cannot live another second longer without a donut. Like, that would be so embarrassing as a human to say that. And yet we think that way and we act that way. We don't say it, right? But our actions basically act that way. We know that the donut is not needed. Yeah. We know that the donut is not needed. Yeah. If you were starving for 38 days, eat a donut. If you're on day 37, hold off. You might find a steak in the meantime.
You know? It's so bad. And man, you mentioned that, made me think that it's so bad that this is an official, effective way to like improve your diet. This right here. Don't keep junk food in your house.
Yeah, no, that's one of the number one.
Because if you keep junk food in your house, you can't control yourself.
Yeah, and you can rationalize too. You know what? This is no big deal. I'm not going to start that. I'm going to fast in 3 weeks anyways, so I might as well just eat this whatever right now.
That's how bad we are. We can't control ourselves.
I like that idea I just thought of just having to announce your weak thoughts to the whole world. Yeah. And how stupid they would. Like, if you're going to carry out an action that's weak, you should have to verbalize it first.
Yeah.
I am about to eat this donut because I cannot survive without it. Announce your rationalization to the world. Yeah. I'm going to skip this workout because my left pinky is sore from jiu-jitsu 3 weeks ago. Yeah. No.
Well, that's a better rationalization than a lot of ones that I've dealt with. Straight up, I don't feel like it. Straight up.
That's not good.
Come on, Joel.